I saw an opportunity and I took it. Teehee. I think you're muted. I think you're muted. Say, I've got your stream on and the volume's all the way up and you're lighting up and nothing's happening. I think you're muted. Yep, I can hear me and I can't hear you. I also can't hear the music from Spirit City. Teehee.
Now. Hi.
Waiting for stream to catch up. Any second now. Yep, we can hear you now.
Yay. I think because I updated drivers, OBS is like, hey, we're just gonna turn everything off. I'm like, assholes.
You see what happened to me?
Yes, Big Elton. Fucking adorable. I know, they are cute, aren't they? We got. If everyone would like to see my new emotes, go ahead and can someone redeem a quick hydrate for me? Again.
If my mouse will work, what is happening?
Oh, then I turned it into a. I turned this into a lovely little animated thing of me sipping while soaked to the brim because you greedy people want to take care of me. Yep. Eldon, you're muted. You're quiet.
Teehee.
What? There you are. So
I was trying to get my mouse to work. It was just freaking out. Everything's fine now.
Please never say that voice first part of it. What? Me being wet? Soap?
Moist?
Moist.
Moist? I don't understand why people hate that word. What is wrong with the word moist? It's just a descriptive word.
It is!
Don't be afraid of these words.
Take it from the writers, is don't be afraid of a word. Unless it's a word that can summon something you do not understand, in which case be very afraid of the word, and go get an expert, and then run away from the thing.
You right.
Tonight we have a special thing planned. We are going to be taking a look at a different piece of Eldon's work. The Foundling.
Yep, the Foundling.
Indeed.
My silly little isekai side project.
Did I ever tell you that I tried to build a quote side project, but I failed miserably.
Oh,
I have eaten.
I have not
Don't
eaten.
worry. Don't worry. Even if it automods you, I'll approve it as long as it's within reason. Artemis. Don't you worry about that. You silly goose. By the way, I have the silliest fucking Gmail ever.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah. And the quote bot. When? I'll worry about that after stream. So, Eldon, I have been playing 007 First Light, and it is so fun.
Yeah.
I feel like, to speak of your world, it's essentially Krolin with a gun.
It'd be like that, though.
Oh, I feel terrible now. I will look at that. I will look at that soon, okay? I promise.
Tee.
One thing Eldon can back me up on is that I am notorious for, well, forgetting.
It'd be like that, though.
I have only a few brain cells. I'm sure. So, Eldon.
Yeah.
I could see someone criticizing how Crow does something if he was a secret agent, and he's just like, as I understand it, double O's have a very short life expectancy. It's like, I don't care.
It'd be like that, though.
Am I right or am I wrong? Correct.
True.
Correct me, my fellow author, my fellow writer. Bye, Artemis.
Goodbye.
Have fun. So, real quick, I do want to make a few quick announcements. My first, and I want to ask your permission for something, Eldon.
Oh, go for it.
I meant to ask you before stream, but I kind of brain going brr. Can I make a fake medicine commercial about you?
Oh, you definitely can.
Excellent.
Turn me into a depressant. That would be the funniest. Not an antidepressant, a depressant.
Yes. I'm going to be doing you and remaking a video for a YouTuber known as Jolt Dodge.
Hell yeah.
And I realize, well, it's time I start doing stuff that makes me happy, and I just do what I want to have fun. Because that's what this is ultimately about.
You right.
Y'all and people seem to like it when people have fun. I mean, nobody wants everyone to be miserable. Unless you're playing Call of Duty. Ha 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 ha! Topical gamer joke. Haha. We're not out of the mid-2000s.
Hee hee.
Haha. LMAO.
You right.
We're, you know the fact that we have the same model parent for these Suzukis just really reinforces, and they have the same smirk, right?
The same really smirk. I think literally the same.
The
ears.
Same. Yeah.
I think the ears got copied and pasted.
I'm not even gonna. I was just more reinforcing Rennie's comment We are the same person, just in different fonts.
True.
One is far more interesting. His name is Eldon. The other is boring, and his name is Mari.
Shut the fuck up.
Make me, bitch. Somewhere I can hear
literally
it.
spent my day reading a manual for defensive magic. That was boring. It read like I was reading a medical journal, okay?
Wait, defensive magic? Like, you talking like occult stuff?
Yep.
Ah.
A Witch's
see.
Defense Manual, Protection and Reversal Magic by Jason Miller.
Interesting.
In a way, it is an interesting read. It teaches you how to do things like make spiritual shields and stuff like that.
I am all in. Like, I'm all in for people, like, learning new stuff. It's always a good thing.
Yeah.
Do you know...
Protecting your body starts with protecting your mind.
Well, I have to agree with that, not just from a... Just from a logic standpoint, I have to say that I think that's very accurate.
Yeah.
Because, like, you don't... Wow, okay. Sorry, trying to pull the Twitch chat back over.
And I do have a few notes before we get into the prologue.
Okay, go ahead.
This is never going to get published. It is literally just a silly little thing I've been working on ever since I started reading, like, Korean web novels. It's just a silly little isekai. One of the first lines in, like, the second or third paragraph is about how Truck-kun ran over this poor kid. It's absolutely a nothing serious. I see you typing, and no, this is never getting published. It's a joke. I wrote this as a joke.
A joke, and that's what's gonna make this great. So, shit posting in chat, everybody. We're gonna have fun. We're just gonna have fun.
We're gonna read through the prologue, maybe a little bit of chapter 1, and then there's 3 future excerpts, of which I would like to get through at least 2 of them.
Absolutely. By the way, we can all see what me and Beetle's priorities are. Driver updates, Fugi reactive, Haagen-Dazs.
You right. Fucking Haagen-Dazs, man. It's the good shit.
Mm-hmm. Look, Beetle recently had a revelation in that they learned matcha Haagen-Dazs still exists.
Hell yeah.
So, I will read first, of course.
Yeah, that's another thing. I don't know how much reading I'm going to be able to do because the side of my face is swollen.
Well, then we will go, and I will read as much as I can, okay?
I will read a little bit here and there whenever you need to take a break.
Okay. Jaya looked out from her perch on the balcony. Shut up. Sighing as her eyes skirted over the tree-lined horizon. Her fancy dress itched her skin. Her feet hurt ridiculously from ridiculously stiff shoes. I know that feel, personally. Men's dress shoes suck, but they are so nice when they're comfy, by the way.
That's fair.
Apparently I've got some big feet.
It'd be like that, though.
Indeed.
Oh, hydrate. Hydrate before you dehydrate.
Dehydrate, champions hydrate, Adidas.
You right.
Got that from a bit, and it's not my joke. She'd never known such misery in life until she was dragged here after. This is absolutely insane. Jason had been just a normal high school senior before the truck. I'm just gonna say it, before Truck-kun had swerved onto the sidewalk and nailed him. Nailed him. So you're saying the driver was like, "Nah, bro, you're going to another dimension."
You right. Literally hit over the head by Truck-kun and sent to another world.
Except, I love it.
Also, the main character's nickname is pronounced Jaya, like the bird.
Jaya. Ah. The J-verse continues to intensify. J Thorn, Jaya, J Arya, J Uso.
But yeah, no, poor Jason. Jason did not ask for this.
But when he'd woken up, he was here in the body of a young girl named Jaya. He lived in a small village with Jaya's father for months before bandits had suddenly showed up and... "M'lady," a maid suddenly called, causing Jaya to turn back towards the doorway. "It is time. The Emperor will see you now." The young girl, air quotes, swallowed, sliding carefully down from the railing and brushing off her dress, hiding a nervous shudder. "I'll follow you," she murmured, gathering all the strength and gumption that Jason could summon up as the servant led her back inside. This must be how trans people feel. I keep having to remind myself how to act like a girl in front of all these people. Jaya's dad hadn't cared if I was a bit boyish. I guess Jaya was a tomboy. But everyone here expected me to act like some kind of princess. At least my nickname from my previous life is similar enough to Jaya's name that I don't have to catch myself ignoring people. Up and down the hallway she went, each looking the same as the last. Her feet throbbed as heels clicked on marble flooring. Okay, I want to talk about this. This is a bit of a phenomenon I've noticed in both heels and dress shoes for men.
Oh, yeah?
Just by observation for years of, like, my mom and other people, and them recently having to wear my bright red floor shines. I'm sorry, I have bright red shoes. Yep.
Hell yeah.
They hurt after a while when you're standing on flat ground and you have nothing protecting your feet. Because the human foot is not supposed to be put in that position for multiple hours. That slightly elevated position. Or in the heel's case, highly elevated.
True.
There we go. Her hair is certainly the same color as yours, someone said, other voice dry. I've noted family trade.
Oh, you skipped a bit.
Oh, I did? Oh, shit, I'm dumb.
Let me highlight where we were real quick.
I found it.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize I scrolled that.
Teehee.
She could feel her heart as the lump in her throat as they neared her destination. If I make it through this, Jay thought, as they reached a set of heavily guarded doors. I will never be scared of anything again for as long as, or as short as I live. It's these weird eyes I have, I'm sure of it. The guards were just going to leave me with the other villagers until they saw my eyes. Maybe if I'm lucky I can go into the woods, or... A mountain of a young man stepped from the line of armor. and sword, nodding to the maids, and casted a shielded glance at Jay through his visor. Sorry.
You're good.
He hesitated a moment as the maid left, then bent down, speaking softly so only the young girl could hear. Whatever you do, don't make him mad. I can't save you if you do. Jay looked up, startled by both the words and this oddly familiar voice, but was unable to meet the guard's eyes as he straightened and turned away. As he did, doors burst open. Announcing the entrance of the unknown star, we humbly bow before the son of the Empire. Sorry, I wanted to do something with Monty Python there. I couldn't resist.
Hell yeah, brother.
All of the guards instantly knelt. Jaya, only a beat behind, but nearly stumbling in her haste. Rise and enter! Jaya's skin prickled cold at the sounds of that voice. Be a girl! Be a girl! Come on, you practice, so just pretend to be a girl!
Jason did not ask for this.
I can tell. Truck Kun gives no fucks. Everybody
Truck Kun
catching
don't give a shit.
Nah, if Truck Kun decides you're leaving this earth and going to a fantasy land, that's what's gonna happen. You don't get a say.
Exactly.
You're getting a new haircut at 60 miles an hour.
True.
Oh, wow, that one was morbid even for me. Her gaze never left the floor as she wordlessly followed the knight into the room, kept going at 2 timid feet as he moved to the side, the door shutting behind her. There was an incredibly tense silence, interrupted only by the sudden rustling of cloth as someone moved towards her. Jay's eyes squeezed shut. Her hair is certainly the same as yours, someone said, their voice dry. A noted family trait. Black hair. Oh, okay.
Hee hee.
Alright. Do you want me
We're
to meme
struggling
this?
today, it's fine.
We want me to meme this? Or you want me to read it like serious?
The character that's about to speak is an emperor, so be careful.
This is gonna be fun.
Yup.
I fear no Truck Kun. Someone grabbed her chin, lifting her face as her eyes flew open, and she was startled by what she saw. Gold and sapphire faceted eyes, the same as hers, but like a mirror. The man before her murmured, his voice cold and emotionless as he studied her. Jaya, not for the first time since entering the palace, had the distinct feeling of being a piece at an auction. She truly does have my family's eyes. Meaning? Hackles down, Neil. She's obviously not mine. I'm not Jason. Jaya had not meant to speak, but suddenly found herself holding her breath. The man who gripped her, the mad emperor known far and wide for ascending the throne after murdering his parents, regarded the young girl coldly. Suddenly he glared. No, you are not. Her heart dropped. What did he mean, not his? Why did Jason even have to get back? Sorry. Why did Jason even have to get dragged here? What the hell was up with the eyes they shared? And for God's sake, Indel! This is not the time to tease the poor thing, the dry voice said as it grew closer. Oh wait, let me read that better. For God's sake, Indel! This is the time to tease the poor thing? The dry voice said as it drew closer. A man probably in his 30s, wearing a butler's cleanly kept uniform and a well-maintained beard entered Jay's view. To her shock, he was glaring at the Emperor as though meaning to chastise him while adjusting his glasses. Can't you see how terrified she is? The Emperor scoffed, letting her go and the other man his full attention. She felt herself sway, but quickly regained her balance as she watched the adults that towered over her. What? I'm being honest, you can't be my child. I'm gay. What? Okay, now I know you wrote this as a joke.
Yep.
Kerwin admits that in front of the entire court of the Revite. What?
What?
You mean the guy who flirts with literally anything that has a penis? Has an obvious attraction to anything with the penis? Is
Damn,
gay?
Imagine.
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 Imagine. Wow, we're speaking in stereo. This is scary. I love it. Be afraid.
Be very afraid.
You have the double trouble has come.
Prue.
The older brother with. I think we're the same age. I can't say that with a laugh. Hold on, let me be the same height as me. There we go. There we go.
Ooh woo.
Symmetry. Now then. The serving man, weirdly informal with the Emperor, rolled his eyes. It's not like anyone outside this room knows that. Every noble in the country probably thinks that this poor girl is your bastard. The real reason you haven't married is because you rolled with some maid who ran off. Watch your tone. Don't get me started, Annie. And like that, the room was filled with the bickering of what Jay could only assume were two secret lovers. Alright. Looking around, she saw an old maid nervously pick at her apron, an old and highly decorated. We got a knight with some we got some decorated knights.
Tee.
They're all on them now, apparently. Thank you, how are you? A decorated knight holding in laughter, and the guard she'd entered was stoically standing next to her, his face hidden by his helmet. What in the world? The Emperor nearly growled. Calm down, it's not like I'm gonna have her executed. And you should say that to start with before you give the kid a heart attack. The other man, Neil, grumbled. His eyes softened as he turned to look at Jay. A poor thing, don't mind him. What do you mean you're not his daughter? But you're still family. And precise. That should be obvious. The old maid stepped forward, looking at Jay as the first time, tears in her eyes. She looks so much like impossible. Apparently not, Indel. Jay's eyes darted. Okay, I'm not gonna lie for Jay. I'm okay. I want everyone to understand this. Because of Jay's story, I'm reading every one of Jay's lines in his voice in my head. Jay, I'm sorry. Fair. I love you to death, but I'm letting the creative chaos flow tonight, and yeah. The J-verse is now a thing alongside the Ryan verse. Look to appendices for information.
You're right.
Sorry. I'm getting a little bit spontaneous. Jaya's eyes darted around her as her mind reeled. What in the world was happening? The Emperor is gay? She's somehow royalty despite not being his child? She looks like someone. What's going on here? The young girl swallowed, her voice cracking as she spoke. 1 second. There you are. Cool. I take after my mother, Majesty, she mumbled, immediately looking down as Emperor Endel turned back toward her. Believe me, I'm just as surprised as you. I never knew my mother, but my father said she had my same black hair, and she shuddered, forcing her voice to be even, though maybe a bit too high. She said she had striking blue eyes. My other eyes colors a mystery, Majesty. I'm lucky that Jaya's dad liked to talk so much, or else I'd probably be dead. Okay. Jaya nearly jumped from her skin as the elderly maid took her hand. Oh, sweetly. It seems that Emorta managed to escape then, the older guard said, but it was silenced by a glare from the Emperor. Don't say that name in my presence. Aye, Majesty, I misspoke. Regardless, at the very least, and she definitely has the look of Adam about her, in the shape of her nose. We can probably surmise what has happened. Adam, that's Dad's name. And now we're left with Endel started inside. A blessing that solves a dozen problems and creates a dozen more. Then you mean I have no other choice, do I? I can't very well dump the little urchin on the street. Jaya flinched as the Emperor turned toward her, his jeweled eyes cold as he once again appraised her. I name you as the rising star. From this point forward, you will be known to this. Wait, fuck, I fucked it up. Okay, hold up, let me try again. I name you as the. Yeah, laugh it up, you little twink.
I am. Don't worry.
You are being the best brat ever tonight, and I'm loving it.
Yay!
I name you as the rising star. From this moment on, you'll be known to the world as Aetona, Princess of Ophidia, my daughter. And I hope you're only half as disappointed as I am. I like this guy.
Endel is such an interesting character. I can say it since this is never going to get published or anything. The reason the quote-unquote Mad Emperor Endel Infinia killed his parents were because they were going to sell his sister off in marriage to another country. And he killed them to stop that, but by the time he did so, his sister had already run away with her guard, Adam, into the mountains, never to be seen again. Then there was a bandit attack, and some royal guards were nearby and saved the village, and then found Jaya there with the two-toned jeweled eyes, which in this universe only happens in people that are meant to take over as the ruler of the kingdom. Like it's a magical thing.
I dig that.
Now, since Chapter 1 doesn't actually have much to it, we can skip to the future excerpts and I can explain them as we go.
Alright.
Whatever you want to do.
Alright, we're going to continue. But why am I on...
Say, temperament is the first one, and the context for it is that there was an assassination attempt on the Emperor, but Jaya had decided to intervene and get in the way of the magical blast that was going to hit the Emperor. This is after she was in a coma for several days. She just wakes up magically completely drained of all of her vision, her hearing, everything like that. She just wakes up after being comatose.
I love it. Not them being comatose, I just love the energy.
Yeah.
After what she had felt must have been of some great length of time, Jaya woke, but only barely. She fought the heaviness of every muscle of her body, feeling as though, even though her eyelids must weigh hundreds... Son of a bitch. We are struggling tonight.
Do you want me to read for a little bit? Are you good, brother?
You know what? Could you check over if something's going on? And I'm afraid to touch anything right now.
That's fair. I'll read for a few paragraphs while you figure stuff out. Feeling as though even her eyelids must weigh hundreds of times more than they should. With great effort, her fingers twitched, a dry murmur escaped her throat, and her eyes finally opened to a clouded and unreadable world. Her ears barely registered the rustle of paper as whoever sat beside her cleared their hands of some sort of business. "I imagine you want water, little bird." With more effort and no small level of confusion, she tried to blink away the thick fog over her eyes, though it did no good, and the voice continued. You're probably already very aware by now, but that was an incredibly stupid stunt you pulled. She was shocked by the gentle arm that slid under her back and propped her up, but welcomed the help as she continued to try to force her eyes to work. Her companion, very carefully helping her sip from a cup of water now, continued to speak as if knowing she could not answer. Who was she? Where had she heard his voice before? Her head felt stuffed with burnt wool. You gave everyone quite the scare. Even I fretted over you, Jaya. You might be glad to hear that the would-be assassin was taken down rather harshly by the guards. Your man in particular was sufficiently brutal, in my opinion. They managed to leave the attacker alive, though, and he sits in the dungeon now. Since you were the one most hurt, it was decided that the sentencing should wait until you recovered, so he could be punished for the full extent of his crimes. Now she was being lowered back down to the pillows and heard the soft clink of a glass being placed on a table. It had to be Mr. Neal. She didn't know any other person in this world who would have so much patience, except Sir Wilde, the familiar voice continued.
Cameo!
You're right. This was written before the character of Eldon Wilde, so I just kind of stole this last name from this story.
That's how some of the best creations happen. For example, I created a new counselor in my story. Who is a rival of a character named Janana Call. His name, hold on, let me pull up the Discord. The sense of detail of the beetle. His name is Relian.
Oh?
Yeah, he's basically a twink.
Based?
And has to fight the ultimate dancer. Poor bastard.
Hey, yo?
And he's highly scientific, but he's meant to be the counselor for the frontier. Ignoring that there's a counselor who is a outright frontiersman in Enron, because Erzlin is not capable of making sound decisions when Relian comes into this story. I mean, what? Sorry. But yes. Base.
Hee.
Indeed. Now she was being lowered back down to the pillows, and she heard the soft clink of a glass being placed on the table. It had to... Oh, wait, you just read that. I'm fucking stupid.
Yeah, no, you're good. We're on the next paragraph.
The doctors informed us that you would be indisposed for a while. I'm not entirely sure you can even hear me, but I am of the understanding that your sense of hearing and possibly your voice would be the first things to return to you, and your eyesight within the next few days. Can you try to speak? Yeet.
You.
Beetle. 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 Hey, Beetle.
Hey, Beetle.
Beetle.
Hi, Beetle.
Yeet.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a big Jey Uso fan.
Yeet.
If anyone hasn't figured that out. Yeet. All right. You're wonderful. That's what we need. You're wonderful.
Yeah, you're cool.
Look, I love Jay, but I am no Uso. You flattering me too much. Well, don't force it. In a moment I'll get you more water, but it's been heavily impressed upon me to be slow and gentle in dealing with you. To let your stomach settle, to help you move. All those odds and ends. Neil is better suited to this, but the poor man was exhausted. So I sent him off to get some rest. Neil wasn't in the room? Then who? You'll hate this, though I think it's rather comical. You've become quite popular, little bird. Even I can hear the servants gossiping about you. And they say that the people of the city and neighboring towns have heard that you've been bedridden. Your people worry for you. One branch of the gossiping grapevine seems to originate from one of the castle gardeners, who apparently misses seeing you on your moonlit walks. I wasn't even aware you took walks, especially late at night. I've not been keeping a very good watch over you, have I, daughter? She was certain that her blood had just become ice in her veins. She was alone with father. I've been neglectful, haven't I? I understand that our situation is uniquely stressful as well as awkward. But there are certain things that a man should just do, especially for someone under his care, yet looking back, I can't even say where I know where you are for more than a few minutes a day. Truly, it's a joke for me to claim to be your caretaker, and speaking of caring... Oh, as a Fae, I'm always up for mischief. Eldon, we're always up for mischief, aren't we? Especially
We
when
are
Rennie's
always
involved.
up for mischief. Hello, Rennie.
Spill, Rennie. And hi to you as well, Crow.
Rennie bought wild to get. Oh God, no, no, please, no.
Yes.
Not gifts.
Yes. Eventually I'll get a controller and we'll be able to play stuff like Subnautica 2. Yeah.
Teehee.
But, yes! Shower the wild one with gifts! To the point he cannot move!
Oh no.
Yes. Suits! Zoot suits! Eldon in a zoot suit. I just gave myself an image. That's a little bit of a first light. I'm dumb.
Teehee.
But that's wonderful to hear, Rennie. I am happy that we could get... we could all help in sharing love to the wild one. Me and Beetle got Eldon the controller. So, haha! We have both given the Eldons some gifts.
I still need to learn how to use the controller.
It's loving wild hours. We're loving him wildly, you might say.
Damn, you right.
One of the things I love the death about you, Elden, is that you are a fan of a good pun. And
I
it's so
love a
nice.
good pun. Puns are
Oh,
my
yeah.
favorite form of comedy.
Yeah. I think my favorite pun I've heard about me is when people have called me a failure.
Hey, I am just dragging my ass.
Dragging your what?
Dragging my ass. Usually to perform tasks.
Yes. I did tell Eldon about your little trick about the fucking scripts. We had
I
a good.
did see it. It was great.
Yeah. Hal has admittedly been like, fuck. Because he doesn't like being rickrolled. So now, every time he does it, he's rickrolling himself. And get rickrolled forever. For context, chat, Rennie J here, the lovely Rennie J. This Rennie J right here in my chat. The one I'm about to shout out, that Rennie J. Yes. Oh. Yes, that Rennie J. They took the lyrics from Rick Astley's Never Gonna Give You Up, or part of it, and put it in redacted text within my court scripts icon. It's just a lovely little meme, but I love it so much. Because, Eldon, we're never gonna give you up.
Heyo. And I'm never gonna let you down.
Yes. I'm going to start reading now.
Teehee.
I hadn't been aware that you cared so much. You knew that I'm covered in spells of protection, yet you took that hit for me anyway. Jumped right in front of me. You're an idiot, little bird. The ice melted in wake of her rage, but she was afraid that if she spoke, it would only come out as an undignified squawk. Things will be changing once you're well again. I should have done this at the start of our charade, but some of the spells that guard me will also be worked upon you. It is irresponsible for me to have left you so vulnerable. Our real relationship aside, you are a member of my household, and you should have been more well protected. You shouldn't be in this state, particularly not on my account. Not... She coughed, her voice come out with a growl. Not for you! The man beside her was quiet for a beat, then chuckled coldly. I see we still play the game, then. Alright, little bird. Enlighten me. Why else would you jump in front of an assassin for me, if not for me? She swallowed, desperately trying to ease her dry throat, knowing that she would watch her struggle through this. Her sassing, as he called it when Mr. Neal did it, had used up most of his kindness for the day. She was sure. What would people say about us if I didn't? If I stood and watched my father be attacked and done nothing? He snorted. They would have said that you were a frightened little girl. By the way, I'm channeling Grand Moff Tarkin as much as I can for this. In this modern incarnation. And I can't give that kind of cadence, but evil and kind of British is kind of where my head's at. Imperial officer,
That's
basically.
Fair. Very fair.
On a quick side note, why the fuck was almost everyone in the Empire British in the 80s?
Because British people are evil.
No. Because Yurei is not /Sai is not evil. Grumpy some days, but not evil. Okay. They would have said you were a frightened little girl, frozen in place at the very thought of your precious father being taken from you, after finally being reunited as a family. She could practically hear the smirk that was probably on his face. No. And you couldn't let that happen, right? Could never let you see you as weak or frail. His voice was silky and cruel. You'd literally rather die. It would just tear you to pieces, being seen as a child. Shut up! No! No. You need this peculiar worldview that you hold so dear to be shattered, he said, inhaling sharply and deeply, and probably with his face scrunched together, pinching the bridge of his nose, as she seemed you do so often when speaking in a state of annoyance. And she assumed he'd yell or snarl, but instead he sounded tired. I don't know how else to explain this to you, to beat this into your head, but you are a child. You're 18, Jaya. That makes you a child in the noble world, no matter how you slice it. And furthermore, at the moment, you happen to be my child. Maybe we aren't really related, and maybe we are, but documents say you're my daughter now, and that's how you'll be treated. You're a scion of our royal house, and that's the end of it. The strangled sound she made was truly an undignified squawk. It did nothing to stop him, as he, still so gently, brought her up again for more water. She could feel the tension in him as he fought to keep his infamous temper under control. I know you think this is some grand farce that the adults play like a stage show, but some of us take this situation very seriously. Do you have any idea how awful it is to watch someone get this severely injured on your behalf? Because I'm not sure that you do. You may not have noticed, Jaya, but this isn't some silly knife wound or blow to the head. You've been magically stripped of your major senses, unconscious for 4 days. No sight, smell, barely any hearing. For all I know, you can't even tell I'm holding you. He growled. His words began to run together before he put her down and took an angry breath. The thump of the cup hitting a table highlighted his words. This is an incredibly fine-tuned piece of work, made to make someone so helpless and easy to kill that an infant could do you in. If I had been hit, you'd have glanced off me like a reflection, reverberating back onto our attacker. But that would have been that. But no, you just had to jump in. You're a reckless little shit. It must sounded like you cared. A lot. She both heard him and felt him half fall into his chair, a tiredness leaking back into his voice. You're a child. Just a child. And I wish you'd learn to at least pretend to act like one. I don't know if I can handle anything like this ever again. Caring for you is a chore. Having you be weak is a chore. You'll sit quietly and let me work some protection on you as soon as you're well. Are we clear, Jaya? Elden, are you talking?
No, I am not talking, no.
Well, you were lighting up, so...
Should I be talking?
Well, you were lighting up, that's why I asked.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah. Yes, sir. There's a good girl. He murmured, sighing. I'm sorry, Indil. He was quiet for a moment, and almost quieter still when he answered, Don't be. Please, just don't do anything like that again. Ever. Jaya strained to hear him as he sighed. I'd better go get Neil. He'll be all whiny if I don't tell him you're awake. Though he needs to rest a while longer. He paused for a moment and spoke again, his voice taking an eerie turn to something that almost sounded like amusement. You have someone else who probably would appreciate an opportunity to chastise you. I think I'll leave you in his care while I find someone to make you something gross and nutritious to drink. I can wake a meal on my way back. That should be punishment enough, since you can at least move by yourself. I will be back soon.
Hee
Jaya found herself trapped in silence. She got the distinct feeling that she wasn't alone, but whoever else was in the room was seemingly content with the quiet. With more effort than she could ever remember using, she tried to heave her upper body into a more upright position. But before even a few seconds had passed, she felt an incredibly large arm following her unspoken whim. Those steady arms handled her as if she was weighed nothing at all, then inched her back until she was up against the pillows. As quickly as it appeared, the presence was gone, leaving her once again alone but for that feeling of being watched. Sir Wilde? Hi, Elden.
Hee
Sorry, I can't help it. I'm here to serve you, princess. She swallowed. Could you please help me get water? As you wish, my lady. With an even more gentle patience than father, the knight brought her cup up to her lips and allowed her to drink. As if sensing her every need, she even knew when to stop. It was unsettling as usual, and yet incredibly welcome. May I have permission to speak, princess? If she could see, she might have stared at him in no wonder she currently felt rising within herself. He was usually an eerily silent fixture in her world. Always watchful, always helpful, always distant. Around his soldier friends, he was always smiling and telling jokes. But if Jaya entered the room, his laughter died. She wasn't sure if he even liked her, since she never strayed more than a word or two from the scripts of greetings, farewell, as you wish. The Emperor has forbidden me from allowing. Please allow me to, or even a rare, yes, my lady, or no, your highness. She had genuinely wondered from time to time if he was actually a 21-year-old knight, or if he was some sort of magical automaton. She honestly and desperately wanted him to say literally anything else at this point. You have my permission, Sir Wilde. The young giant seemed to mull that over. The silence carried on until an impossibly large hand encased one of her own. My lady, is my service in any way inadequate? Have I done something to anger you? That was a shock.
Ooh.
Of course not, Sir Wilde. You always very helpful and do your job flawlessly to the letter. Why would I be angry? Well, my lady, you seem so unsatisfied with my performance that you took it upon yourself to do my job for me. Oh. Is that sarcasm? Could you read for a second?
Yep. She felt her face flush and wondered if that meant she was starting to regain more of her senses, or if she was just blushing so vividly that it overrode her magical predicament. Well, my lady, you may yet still be simply a distant star of our future empire to most, but to me you are already the sun. There is no one else who is more important, or who I wish to protect more. My sword is your sword, my body is your shield. If I'm not the right fit for you, then you must inform the Emperor and know that I will always respect such a decision. But I hope that I have not somehow lost your trust in my ability, he said, his voice so deep and low that she couldn't hear any emotion at all there. I know that you and I have an awkward relationship for reasons I can't say, but there is no one I would rather protect. She realized that Endel must be a fairly good distance away because what this knight had just told her was treason. The Son of the Empire was a title that only the reigning monarch could wear. She herself was the star of the future, and depending on how she married, she may never be the son anyway, because a high-ranking future husband could easily be given the title instead. To call her the son was to imply that he held her in a higher regard than his emperor, and it might have been the sweetest thing that anyone had ever said to her. Sir Wilde, you're the only knight I can ever see myself trusting. I'm sorry for worrying you or hurting your feelings. I won't do that again if I can help it. Her words were interrupted as more sounds reached her ears, and her hand was instantly left cold. The hole in her senses replaced by the bursting open of a door and quick-paced shuffling that preceded a panting Mr. Neal, who'd apparently come running here from somewhere. Little idiot, we were so worried for you. Are you well? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Annie said you could hear, but that might just be because he's so obnoxiously loud. Bite your tongue, butler boy, Endel quipped somewhere beside her. That's very close to being insulting to your emperor. My lord will live. Our daughter almost didn't, Neal said, sounding incredibly sober compared to the usual playfulness he generally indulged in when he and Endel were together. Jaya, can you hear me properly? Yes, sir. The man who gripped her resting place heaved a heavy sigh that dripped with more relief than she thought she'd ever hear come from an adult in her life. Yeah, that's what it said. His weight shifted from the bed, as if he now leaned on it from closer to the ground. Thank the stars. I was so scared we'd lose you. Has any been nice? And your night wasn't too harsh. I'm sorry I wasn't around when you woke up. This grumpy man just insisted I took a break. You hadn't slept in more than 30 hours, Neal. Unimportant, he murmured, gently taking her hand in his. What you did was so brave, but please don't you dare ever do something like that again, or so help me. Neal, no threatening the royal princess. Oh, as if you're ever any nicer. A sputtering sound came rushing from her lungs, startling the men as well as herself as she laughed.
I like that.
And that's the end of that part.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you think?
I like it. I like the way you have the Emperor listed as this cold, and then everyone else around him is like this gaggle of crazy and kooky, and I love it. But my favorite part about the Emperor is like, that's not mine. I'm gay.
That's not mine. I'm gay. True. And then the next one we can read is Meeting the Jerkass, which you have already scrolled to. I see.
I have.
We've
actually read this before.
Yes, we did. We can read it again if you want, or we can skip it and read something else.
Nope, but we're gonna read it again. I just want to take a note.
Okay.
Okay. Just doing a...
I fucking love this guy.
I know.
Just saying.
Mm-hmm. I doubt... I have a fun idea. You read the Jerkass, I'll read Gaia.
Oh boy. I doubt you are important enough to give me orders, said the blonde man, his crimson cape fluttering slightly and causing the gold symbols that decorated his shoulder to glimmer in the torchlight. He seemed intent on ignoring her, still looking at the portrait of father that hung in front of him.
Jaya glares at the man's back, easily falling into her persona as Eterna. She didn't care anymore if this jerk was as big as Wilde. He was annoying her. As Princess of Infinity, I demand that you face me and state your name and intentions. She barked, feeling the authority in her own voice as anger took away her shyness. You wander too far from my father's party, sir, and I shall not abide a stranger wandering in my palace.
The young man stopped, turning and revealed his faceted crystalline eyes. One red like a ruby, and the other a bright yellow topaz, to match hair that seemed spun from the purest gold. His face split in a wolfish smile that sent a chill down her spine. Only royals with the right to their throne had jeweled, two-toned eyes. Princess Eterna, huh? I've heard of you, he said, chuckling darkly, stepping closer as she stiffened, but held her ground. Yes, my advisors had a word or two to say with your name. They briefly wanted me to if I could read, that would be great. They briefly wanted to have me offer to marry you before the old bastards remembered that your father is just as crazy as my own father and I are. She felt her face flush and nearly choked on her own words as she fought to find a retort. The man before her continued, unfazed as his eyes traced over her. But looking at you now, I might just submit that offer anyway, he said, smirking as he gave her a bow. It is a pleasure to meet you, Aeterna de Infinium. I am Leonis de Shanasi, Crown Prince of Genasia. As for my intentions, I was bored and trying to find somewhere nice to walk.
Jaya swallowed. Shanasa was the only empire on the continent. Only other empire on the continent, located to the northeast and separated from Infinia by the handful of islands in the shallow sea, as the troublesome desert country of Yayen to the east. This young man was of the same station as her, but he had been at for much longer, and was old enough to be considered an adult. Well, she was technically a child by noble standards. He's definitely the one I wanted to speak to, she thought. But now that I'm here, I can see why I was warned right against meeting with him. I suppose it is in character for him to be the one to sneak away from the party. Perhaps we can talk. She gave a polite curtsy. The pleasure might be mine, she said pointedly. If you would be so kind as to accompany me back to the party.
Leonis chuckled. And if I would not?
She blushed. I insist.
The blonde gave a dangerously playful sigh. It seems we're at an impasse, he said. Then Leonis suddenly held out his hand to her, as an escort might offer his arm. Perhaps a compromise. I will promise to be polite if you show me a garden. I don't know about you, princess, but I foresee our fathers taking a while with their friendly pissing contest. We may as well pass some time.
The girl molded over for a second, then sighed, taking his arm. This is my duty to entertain guests, and it will give us an opportunity to speak privately. The prince... Sorry.
Tee. The prince barked out a laugh, starting to walk with her. My advisors could take a lesson from you in grudging compliance.
I would never dare to attempt to educate my elders, sir.
You seemed quite at ease with teaching me a lesson but a few moments ago, my lady.
That was before I knew you were educated. I'm afraid I had mistaken you for an idiot with no self-preservation.
I suppose, though, with a death wish might have thought as much and led you astray. For future reference, he said, suddenly whispering as his breath touched her ear after he bent slightly, causing her spine to shiver. The embroidery on my cape should be a bit of a giveaway. The symbols on my right shoulder signify my position. But as you are relatively new, I feel like forgiving you.
She looked up to glare, but was shocked to find sincerity in his eyes. After a second, she blushed, and went back looking straight ahead while they walked. I thank you for your courtesy, Prince Leonis.
No need. It is merely my whim. I have my moments of compassion just as anyone else might, Princess Eterna.
The girl smiled softly. Yes, of course. They were silent for a few moments, and as they eventually made their way around to an exit into a garden, her own, she realized that her feet had taken her there without much thought. Where are the guards?
This place seems to be lacking in eyes, Leonis commented softly. How unusual.
Jaya swallowed. Yes, it is. She murmured, only barely hesitating before leading the blonde out with her. Even though the party is far off.
Your father is not quite crazy enough to pull guards away from easy entrances, he said, his tone making it sound like a compliment. I, however, am crazy enough to ignore the oddity in order to prolong my walk with the pretty girl.
Jaya felt her ears heat up and was grateful for the low light of the garden this far into the evening. Sir, you give compliments too freely. I fear I cannot trust them.
Good. You should not trust me, Princess.
Her brows furrowed as she glanced up at him, but she appeared to be occupied with watching their surroundings as they walked through the garden. She had thought of speaking up, but she continued after glancing down the darkened pathway. You know nothing of my intentions, nor... Oh, wait.
Oh, this is my line.
My bad.
Teehee. Teehee. You know nothing of my intentions, nor are you experienced in dealing with men of our position in life. Quite frankly, Princess, your father would be calling for my head if he knew we were alone. It's quite adorable of you to have thought it would be good manners to indulge me.
She scoffed, feeling a bit bold knowing they were alone, well, save for the troublemakers that were likely roaming around the shadows. My father's wants are not my own, Prince, and though I am young and I have experienced much more than a noble lady usually would. You can think I am naive if you'd like, I don't particularly care, but my indulgence in dealing with you is more calculated than you assume.
A snort. Oh?
I had hoped to discuss this in private, Your Highness. I'm certain you know just as well as I do that we're truly not alone out here.
I'm glad that you're intelligent enough to catch on.
It would be impossible not to.
You really are different from most of the noble ladies who approach me, but I wonder. Suddenly, he turned towards her, scooting the young woman almost gently out of the way. Like a whip, the arm that Jaya wasn't holding lashed out at the darkness that had been beside her, sending out a lance of red light. There was a wet crunch accompanied by an agonized scream, and the man beside her smirked. How much can you stomach?
Ow, 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 ow. Oh, sorry. Eyelash attack.
Oh no, eyelash attack.
She stared, the weak light showing her nothing but a silhouette of a man crumpled to the ground. Leonis held up his hand, summoning red light to illuminate the way, and the raven-haired girl swallowed. The body didn't have a head. Instead, several feet behind the corpse, what seemed to be explosion of viscera, the dead body wore what looked to be deep blue cloth from his neck to his toes, with knives tucked into cloth sheaths. Assassin.
But for you? Or me? Leonis asked, his voice full of humor. Regardless, A scream behind them nearly had Jaya jumping out of her own skin, a flash of light coming from her back not helping. By the time she turned around, her and Leonis were face to face with... So this is the kind of protection magic your family is armed with, her counterpart murmured, inspecting the... Teehee, I do too. Inspecting the statue assassin. From the positioning, it was easy to tell that the man had been reaching out to grab her. Quite effective. I suppose this would be why you weren't concerned with being alone with me?
Indeed, as she murmured, her hand on her heart as she began to calm herself. A different effect happens to someone depending on their intention of harm.
And this one means...
Jaya shivered. I should not be telling you this much, but kidnapping.
Then this must be reversible. Your father seems like the type that would want to torture information out of potential kidnappers.
She nodded. This also means they were after me and ties into what I wish to discuss.
The blonde quirked an eyebrow. Oh, then speak up. I'm sure someone heard the scream.
Jaya held her chin high, taking a step closer to the slightly older prince. Prince Leonis, I wish to bargain with you for the benefit of both of our nations. As you can see, Yayan is after my life as the sole rightful heir to my empire. They also very often pick at your borders as they pick at our own, as thousands of soldiers and commoners die yearly as a result. You are not as blessed as me, and have multiple brothers who are vying for the crown of Geneja just as you are. And while you are the strongest and most logical candidate, it's no secret you often face threats and hurdles to your goals. She swallowed. He was watching her with calculating eyes. I can help remedy that. You joked earlier you might have offered to marry me. I wish to ask that you put more serious consideration to it.
His eyes opened wider. Pardon?
Our fathers are currently, as you charmingly stated, having a pissing contest. The most logical way to beat Yayan would be to work together, but the emperors would rather die than do so. I cannot speak for you, but I do not hold to such a silly level of pride. If it will keep my people safe, I have no problem with coming together on even a superficial and temporary contract to join forces. If we become engaged, the two of us can easily achieve our goals.
The man paused, eyes narrowing as he stared at the Yayeni assassin, jeweled eyes glittering at the possibilities. Marriage to you would instantly make me the most viable heir, as it would create an instant connecting point to both your military and your support network. My political backers would practically double, both in quantity and quality, and those of my brothers would wilt. It would also, as you stated, allow for a united front against these bastards that are constantly picking at our farmland. You have given me an excellent temptation.
She sagged with relief.
He held up his hand. And yet you have forgotten the most important part, little girl.
Little girl?
He leaned towards her slightly, his eyes meeting her own at an equal level. What do you gain from such a move? You already have the throne secured, and you have such pretty magic to protect you from harm, even when your guards are nowhere in sight. How do you benefit from tying yourself to one of the most hated and feared men on the continent, when you could easily have your pick of nice and dependable boys from your own lands? Why offer to marry me, when there's so little convenience in it for you?
She blushed, sighing, and then looked at him squarely. The freedom to be Jaya Rosewood of Riverton, daughter of a loved soldier and a young midwife. Not Aeterna de Infinitum. Supposed bastard is a crime.
Something flashed in Leonis's eyes, but before he could speak, the sounds of metal and calls of searching guards began to fill the air. I will take care of the offer of marriage, then, he said softly.
I have a question.
You just worried... Yes.
Jaya is still okay, I hate sounds stupid. So from what I understand for this, Jaya got isekai'd into a basically another boy's body, right?
Jason got isekai'd. He was a high school student. He got isekai'd into the body of Jaya, who is a young girl.
Oh.
Yep.
Alright.
Good thing Jason's gay, is all I have to say about that. Any more questions?
No. I just want to make sure I've understood.
I will take care of the offer of marriage then, he said softly. You just worry about looking love-struck enough to sell the idea that there is nothing more than genuine affection between us when our families begin to riot. Suddenly, as if he had planned it, Leonis knelt and kissed Jaya's hand just as several guards rounded the corner. She blushed vividly, heat rising to her cheeks, and the prince smirked against her fingertips. This has been an enlightening evening, Your Imperial Highness. I'm twice honored to have gone on this walk with you.
That sly fox! The pleasure is mine, Prince Leonis. Truly.
The true pleasure lies in seeing the blushing petals of a flower in the moonlight, he said, his smile turning calculatingly soft as he stood upright, his cloak almost magically billowing back with a dramatic flourish. As if only just noticing the perplexed guards, he gave a polite nod. I see that help has arrived. Will you gentlemen kindly deal with the two that have been incapacitated? I fear this charming lady will grow too used to such sights if we do not remove her from the area, he said, and turned his jewel-toned eyes back on her. Her imperial father may not take kindly to the knowledge that a foreign prince held more thought for her welfare than her own rather unpunctual guards.
I love him.
He's great. And then we can either stop here and move on to your stuff, or we can read the last little bit.
I would.
It's about 3 pages, maybe 4 or 5.
Let's read the rest, and then we'll switch them up.
Alrighty.
Alright, I will read this part.
The context for this one is it's later on in the story. There's a war happening between Infinia and Genacia going against Yayen. And Sir Wilde and several other soldiers have just been kidnapped by the Yayenis.
Okay.
We also find out in the story before this, somewhere, I haven't written it, that Sir Wilde is actually Jaya's cousin.
Ooh. I like that. I understand that my father's injury puts us in an awkward position, but I firmly believe that we should wait until the Senasian army arrives to aid us. Our location is easily defensible and simply leave those prisoners with... No offense, Your Highness, the balding man said, cutting our off with a sneer, but this isn't the place for young girls. You will merely be in the way, and will surely faint or take fright if someone bloody walks in. Best you be on her way. Jaya, no, Aeterna slowly inhaled. Her imperial father sat in the corner, eyeing her with interest. He watched this scene play out while nursing his broken arm, knowing as well as she did that these lords were unaware that he was conscious. Neil was not here to stand up for her. Leonis was not here to intimidate the room for her. Sir Ivan was not here to slam down a fist and order silence for her. Sir Wilde... They had all turned away for her and once began to speak. Now, as we were saying, if we call these troops back today, we wait till tomorrow to alert these groups. The Scorched Earth Gambit will be incredibly effective, and those Yenis will be kept busy by it. Lord God, please forgive any transgression or ill utterance I am about to perform. Damn, that is the most southern thing Jaya could have said. That is, Lord, I am about to put the fear of God in these boys!
And she really is, by the way. Jaya is about to... Have you seen Avatar: The Last Airbender?
Yes.
Do you know Azula's her speech about the right to rule? Like the divine right to rule? Do you remember that at all?
I do not, but this is going to be fun.
I invoke that here right now, and it's very fun.
Interesting. Who among you, here, at this table, has been granted the divine right to rule? Even she was surprised at the iciness of her voice. Then, but unlike all of the old and armed men before her, she did not freeze in place because of her tone. Two shiny, little-used, delicate bits of metal clinked daintily together as the so-called war counselors twitched uncomfortably. That's the key. No one, just me. Interesting, and yet you dare to lecture me on what parts of ruling I can and cannot stomach. I, who grew up lost in the poorest of our empire's rural territories. I, who had to hunt for my own food even as a child. I, who have seen more men die in front of me than some of you have even learned the names of. I, who have walked in more worlds and played more parts than most of you can comprehend. She gently leaned forward, placing one delicate hand on the document-laden table, a crisp and foreboding smile lighting up her face. Make no mistake, gentlemen, I don't merely share my father's eyes. Much like him, I would sell any one of you to the enemy and watch them behead you with a grin on my face to save a decent soldier. None of you hold nearly the value that that squadron does. You may be comfortable looking at the blood of others, but who among you has ever lost a finger in a duel? An eye on a battlefield? How many of you have witnessed these losses? Sorry, I'm getting a little into it.
You're doing great.
How walked among dying men and amputees of these minds who have been overcrowded and by flashbacks and lost comrades, she sneered. Not one of you. But I have! I know quite a bit of how men think and in and out of battle. She let the smile fall glaring, and I know what it looks like when panicking, soft-handed old fools are about to lose a battle and several men on purposes to save a bag of money. You think I can't read a map? Not only have you been positioning our men in such a way as these prisoners taken by Ya Yen get left behind, but you have also posted squads of commoners in ways that they will never escape the valley before how did you word it? Scorched Earth Gambit plays out. You plan to use them as bait and lock them in with the enemy while you burn everyone alive? How gutless! You! I what? Lord Asher, she asked, narrowing her gold and sapphire eyes to the would-be speaker. She smirked as the man backed up, soon followed by the others. Please, little Count, do speak your mind. If it's interesting enough, I may not just decide to kill you on the spot. Okay. She straightened, her delicate fingers sweeping over the map and knocking all the figures they were using to visualize their cowardly retreat. If any man in this tent so much as tries to give this so-called plan one more thought, he will find himself tied to a tree directly in the line of fire. I assure you, growing up raised by a mercenary has made me very good at tying knots. You may play Leonis, if you wish.
Oh, what was
Alright,
that?
so can you take over for the fiance for a second? My throat.
Yep.
I kind of got a little
But first things first. Hydrate before you dihydrate.
Woo!
Teehee. If I were you, said a voice behind her, the smell of used chainmail hitting her as the familiar tones of her fiancé came up next to her, I would listen to her. I can stand witness to the fact that my lady is more vicious than she looks. Belatedly, the room bowed low, the lord stumbling over their words as the young woman looked up and up and up to meet Leonis's eyes. Smiling, she forced herself to be casual. Ah, there you are, she said, turning back to the room. As you can see, gentlemen, our Genasian comrades have arrived, so I recommend you be good boys and go back to your posts for now. They did not need to be told twice. The room emptied, and the Emperor had the decency to close his eyes and nap as her mask cracked and she glared mortified up at the blonde. Her voice came out as a harsh whisper. How long were you standing there? Leonis quirked an eyebrow, casually tugging at one of her raven black locks of hair. I entered the tent at how gutless, he murmured. I might have glared at the bastards who were about to talk back to you. Well, that explained why the Lord suddenly began backing up, but she was well aware of the prince's superhuman senses. And before that? He thought about it, then smirked. I believe the first words I heard were, who among you has the divine right to rule, or something to that effect. He chuckled, a wolfish grin lighting up his damnably handsome features. You're incredibly attractive when you threaten people. She smacked his arm, grumbling. Shut up! But regardless, you did well. You'll make a great empress someday, little bird. She blushed. I can only hope so, she said softly, her gaze flowing down toward the map at the table. I can't guarantee they would have listened to me. I'm not as scary as you or His Majesty, Jaya swallowed. You might have just saved the lives of several of my people. Including your knight, though that still requires a bit of finessing, he said, reading the map, not meeting her eyes. We were informed of the situation as we arrived here. Your knight is a tough man, my little bird. Cousin. Startled, Leonis looked up at her, and Jaya swallowed. Sir Wilde is my cousin. I have a lot to tell you, your highness. The blonde sent an odd look towards her, then a more skeptical one toward the Emperor. Alone? My majestic father won't be interrupting, the young woman grumbled, taking her arm and steering him to the furthest corner from Endel. He doesn't have the right. And that's that on that.
I love that. I loved all of that. All of that.
Right?
All of it.
It's very fun. I don't get to write this story often, but when I do, I have a lot of fun doing it. And now we're
Honestly,
reading
I
some of
love
your
this.
stuff.
Yes. I'm trying to find the Google Doc I made you for it has my stuff in it.
Tales of the Acria Galaxy, the Terosian Affair 2026 edit.
Yes, that one.
Yes.
Can you link me back to my own thing because I can't find it like a goober?
I got you. Copy link.
Don't ask
Go
chat.
to Discord.
Okay, let me explain chat real quick. I have this weird habit right now of everything just gets lost in translation, in the sauce, you might say. Yeah. It's the price of suffering.
The
So
price of suffering?
Yes. What I mean by that is that it's the price of my brain going.
That's fair.
Eldon, let me explain this right now. You were the one. Okay. You were on a very short fucking list when it comes to people. Hal's on that list. Beetle's on that list. Of people, when I am around you, my serotonin shoots through the roof. I love you to death, Eldon.
Aww.
You mean the world to me.
Aww.
Don't aw me. I'm being sincere, you little fuck.
I'm being sincere too, you little bitch.
I am not a bitch. I am a whore. Get it right, at best. Look. Hal gave Paige the idea of drawing me with this tie over my head like a blindfold with the Ahegao. Ahegao? Yeah. I outed myself there. Anyway!
Teehee.
So where were you in my story last time?
The last time I read, I had just gotten through the duel and was starting to reread Chaos Anew, Chaos Afar.
Then we'll
I am
read
not
that
very
together.
far in, I will admit.
Then we will start over.
Okay.
Enron was quiet as he sat on a stool. Countless members of planetary security had swarmed the castle in the last hour. Paramedics had tended to rich and poor alike, yet Enron had denied care. Rather, he kept himself focused, ensuring his eyes devoid of emotion. I need to add a word. Thank you, Google. As he examined the scene, guards had surrounded the Countess, and many attempts to interview had been cut off at first. So he sent a kingdom detectives, all to personally explain it all. Little by little he watched. The Countess was floored. Her lips were pursed ear to ear and her face was flushed. The attacker hadn't just scared her, he humiliated her as well. He stood and looked over to the bounty hunter who was staring at the glass he escaped into the night from. As he glanced as well, he crossed his arms. Nothing except eyewitness accounts had he seen or even picked up the magical entry. Not one bit of power spiking, no sensors, nothing. It had been as if the man had been a little ghost. This was an act of magical power unlike anything he'd ever seen. His eyes narrowed a little. You know, he doesn't seem crazy. Enron eyed her calmly. That makes it worse. Enron walked over, crouching at the ground, noticing where he had been had the same unnatural warmth as the scene at the village nearby. His eyes narrowed, noticing that the barely visible hairs on his hands were standing on end. Zenandra turned to eye him, crossing her arms. Any ideas? Not one. He stood back up and eyed the Countess. Do you think the guy you can find the guy? Me? Yeah, guy's not exactly hard to track down. An albino Tarazian. Enron's flat stare calls her to raise her hands awkwardly. Easy! I will see to it that you're paid 1 million for his capture alive. Do not kill him, Enron added, as the two glanced over the countess whose gaze had come their way. I'll add another 700,000 to that. Nissa bitterly spat. Enron eyed her. That eager to get revenge? No, he's dangerous and nearly committed an act of terror against this world. I have to see to it as countess that justice is done. Who better than our world's finest hunter? World's what? You called me gutter trash when I left you. Zenondra spat as Enron eyed the two. Nisha shrugged. Would you rather I hire the beast? That's they're talking about. She's talking about Oka. Enron's eyes narrowed. You know where she is? I cannot confirm or deny it. Zenondra's lips pursed. Let's focus on the priest. And if we find that damn blizzard, I'll handle her. Enron sighed. I have to agree. I'll ask my counselor friend to help you find the priest. I'll handle the lizard in a cohort. They need to be brought in anyway. So kind and awful, counselor. Did the priest scare you? No, but the incident over the town needs to be handled. Carlo and the lizard need to be apprehended. A security official rushed in, and Alacone, like Zani. He had slick back hair, matted and style perfectly, rushed to the countess, his words half-labored. Countess! There's a fire! Enron rushed over in an instant, seizing the man by his shoulder. What? Where? The Carlo residence. Okay, so, context for people who don't know what's going on. This is from what will become my debut novel. This is an excerpt, because Eldon has read up to this point. Basically, it opens up with Zani getting into a gigantic firefight. And she, over the course, is basically fighting an 8-foot-tall lizard woman who hits like Nemesis from Resident Evil. They ended up setting fire to an entire town and basically had the equivalent of one of the captains of the 13 Court God squads from Bleach, or in One Piece terms, basically they sent Kizaru.
Hee hee.
Yeah, they basically sent an admiral to handle this. Enron is a very tired man. He does not like dealing with Tarazians because Tarazians governmentally are a gigantic classist system, not caste, but classes. And it's because they gamed the system with a genetically modified crop. Yes, they did that. They're horrible. But the only thing they did was that they basically made sure that the crop can only be planted on their world. They have a silk crop, among other things. They have a lot of agricultural things that are incredibly valuable to the rest of the galaxy in regards to high-end clothing. For example, I'll use Eldon. If Eldon was wearing everything that he has on his Fugi that was made from Tarazian silk, in Earth terms, he spent using something that's worth close to... basically, it's like buying Prada.
Damn.
Yeah. So, Tarazian silk is a very high-value material. The other benefits is that when it's reinforced with, certain matrices, it can actually be used as an effective low-level armor. So there's a lot of applications. It's a very strange crop, and that's why they modified it. Because they were trying to corner the market in several different things, and they make a shit ton of money. The other part about Tarazia is a pleasure world. In Warhammer.
You're right.
In Warhammer terms, it would be called a pleasure world. It is not done that way willingly. It is done that way because of practicality. So, during that fight, they encountered a priest by the name of Alpheus. Alpheus basically beat Zani and her mercenary friends down, laid the smackdown, and then fucked off. He did some research, found out that he's been gone for over 10,000 years, probably close to 20 to 30, and It basically is a reverse Yankee in King Arthur's court. This is a guy who's literally been yanked into the future, or rather woke up in the future, and is confused of why. To put it in terms that might be easy to understand in Earth term, it's the equivalent of that film that I can't remember. I consume so much knowledge, it's crazy, and what varying stuff, so please understand that. It's basically the equivalent of waking up as a member of a religion and realizing that you are literally the only person left that actually remembers what the actual religion is.
Damn.
He's pissed. So, and someone basically, set fire. So, Elvin, what are your thoughts on the chapter?
I really like it so far.
My favorite thing is literally is that this is like, we might as well send our best hunter on the planet. And Zani is basically, I'm gonna put this in chat, if it was an anime scene, she'd be cracking this face. Be like, but you called me gutter trash last time we met.
Hee
Chee. And she's like, don't get used to this. I fucking hate you still, but fuck you.
You right.
Now we get to one of my favorite chapter parts, and I've been wanting you to read this for ages, so now that I get to read it to you, I was wondering, do you have enough strength to read this?
My jaw honestly hurts quite a bit.
Okay, then I will do the honors. Actually, because it is a little bit graphic, I am going to switch it back to chatting.
Okay.
Fair warning, this is a very graphic section of my novel. Carlo grumbled as he hurried over to his safe. He crouched low and quickly punched in the key code to unlock it. Damn counselors! Let's get to the safe house. Lay low before this gets out of control. An orange glow beneath his feet gave him pause. He touched the wooden floor, his eyes widening in shock. Great heat poured through. His eyes narrowed. Fire. He rushed to the door, but froze as he felt the presence of a larger form just on the other side. He tried to reach out and lock it, but then it happened. A massive, scaled clawed hand struck through the wood like it was paper. Carlo yelled, feeling it grab him by his collar and slamming him repeatedly against the door. Laughter and the crackle of ignited wood filled the air. Delicious! A heavy voice yelled. Carlo's eyes went wide as the final slam was the greatest. It sprayed his blood on the outside of the door as he came through it with little effort. From behind blood-soaked eyes, he stared in horror. Every inch of his face needled with pain in every sense of the word. There on the other side was his attacker. Olga Rexa. Her ruby scales shimmered against the firelight. Her teeth were bared in a sadistic smile, marred with blood. They are not dragons, they are crocodiles, by the way. Olga is an anthropomorphic crocodile. How delightful that I get a mobile prey! She declared joyfully. Carlo tried to speak, but Olga slammed the door forward, smashing his face into the wall. When the door swung back, he coughed out words. What is this I paid? Another slam followed, then more pain. You paid for the retrieval. I simply took a new offer, and I do not like being told how to hunt my favorite prey. She snarled, shrugging over as she walked over to a safe. The gangster screamed back, "Now I'm here for the Count's gift!" No, wait, that's Olga, my bad. Now I'm here for the Count's gift. Carlo heard it. A blast. Something heavy falling on the ground. Then a chuckle. A heavy breath followed, gently caressing the very fringes of his neck. A sharp pain followed, and Carlo let out a silent scream. Yeah, so he got 8. He got 8. Literally.
Ooh. Damn. You're right, that was pretty graphic. Also, hello, sensual doppelganger. How you doing?
Hello, Central Doppelganger. I'm Mari. It's nice to meet you. So, one thing to keep in mind about my method with gore is a little bit, I feel it's almost atypical. I don't feel like I have to sometimes say, oh, like, somebody got their head ripped off. It's much more horrifying when you, yeah.
It's much more horrifying when you explain how it happened rather than just saying it happened, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's what
I was
makes
gonna
the
say, that
scenes-
was, like, my whole thing with explaining how Crowlin got turned into a god in that one unidentifiable chapter that no longer exists.
Also, we have
I haven't
some...
deleted it yet.
Good, you better not. Chat, tell Elden not to delete anything, please.
Teehee. Also, hello, Content Crow.
Thank you so much for the compliment, and we hope your days go well as well. Yes, delete nothing. Beetle have to create it, therefore it is so.
Hee
Me and Beetle's favorite character of yours is Crowlin, by the way. Followed by Kier. I love the brothers.
That's fair. I'm gonna be so real with everyone in chat for my writing stuff. Crowlin is basically everyone's favorite character.
James is
It's
usually...
hard not to love him.
I know that feel because, ironically, my ice wielding character is usually everyone's favorite character in my universe. Without fail, by the way.
That's fair.
Alright. We'll read this next section and I think we'll call it here. My throat's getting a little...
That's fair.
Hurty. Enron was quiet as he marched for the door, not noticing that the bounty hunter had followed him out. Nissa had left, mere moments before, guarded and cruel. Everything here had played out amicably as it could. Despite him and Zernandra saving the Taram, he felt hollow, like there was something the Countess knew far more than she let on. Sorry. Specifically about that priest. His eyes were moving back to the concert hall as he exited the palace, not noting that the window that had broken was glowing brighter than he'd ever expected it to be. Against the night sky, the darkened chamber was striking, a red-orange beacon nestled against the stone of the estate, casting a glow that seemed like firelight. Talk about a mess, he muttered. Nissa's not the culprit. Zanandra circled next to him. Enron paused, eyeing him. What do you mean? She's not guarded, but she knows something, she offered, smiling over at him. Professional opinion, that? Yes? Because you're stating the obvious. Stating the obvious. This is another thing that happens. Autocorrect is a bitch on some of the things I've used, so it has corrected it.
True.
Yeah. As professional can be, she said with a coy smile. The priest came here to try to make a statement. I think we crashed it. You did, not me, he insisted. I'm here to keep order, and I'm gonna need help. I'm calling another counselor here. You, on the other hand, need to find that priest and bring him alive and to me. That way I can make sure it doesn't become a three-ring circus. Cessia is the closest town. It's a farming town. It's mostly remote. Easy to hide there, she added quickly as she went for the surface hatch, ignoring the sounds of guards coming back into the room. The Alacoan fields, they're a few 50 miles southwest. You understand that with Blackwing around, your home may not be welcoming, right? Enron asked, watching as she made watching her. I can put because I don't need to put that there. Sorry, I'm in my editor brain. I'm very self-conscious when I do this.
We love editor brain.
Yes. Thank you. I can say for sure that rumors are already flying around. The Nandra's entire body froze. She'd not even thought about Blackwing since the meeting with Corell's boss. And their diplomat, no less. Even now, so long after the war, her world having an embassy sowed seeds of tension. All playing into the hands of Nissa and Jin's, I suppose. There was more to this. Her being saved wasn't mere charity. Question for you, Councilman. She asked, what does the richest person in the galaxy gain by protecting a random rogue? Even if she is the fiancé of her son's protector. A way to shake things up, he replied calmly. She's got an angle through you. It's only going to reveal itself when she's ready to play her hand. Keep your head on a swivel. Best advice I can give you. The Nandra felt her blood run cold. Noting his words felt nothing less than a warning. As she reflected on everything that happened, she found herself nodding. Chaos was unraveling around her. Confusion was ripping its way through the upper echelons of her home's rulers. Terrazia, her home, it was falling apart.
Damn.
So, to explain some stuff, I'm going to talk for a moment now. My universe is based around... This world is very much based in a hyper-classist mentality that doesn't always... I said this earlier, but to elaborate, the Taram are basically... Imagine the utter stupidity of the U.S. Congress. And yes, I do find every congressman to be some form of stupid. With the decadence of Rome that is stereotypically portrayed. The Taram has a very simple system. There is a governing body that appoints the counts and countess. It's not a couple. It's a female ruler and a male ruler. They are the ones who run the planet. They have operational autonomy because of how much money they make and the fact that their culture nearly got wiped out. The Goa'uld don't want to exactly seem like dictators. So Erdlin, because he is a bean and he is a fucking shy guy, he's just a little guy. He's just a little guy. He's very kind, too kind to be a leader, but he's in the position and he's making the most of it. His whole thing is, you guys do you. I don't want to be seen as evil, so y'all, yeah, I'm gonna go put out that fire, those 50 fires over here. We'll handle this another time. Terrazia, because they don't have any real oversight, they create a lot of problems because corruption gets buried, people get made to disappear, people even get sold into slavery. Slavery is outright outlawed in this universe, but they still do it because they're, rich, and, the rich will find ways around anything if they have enough time. Terrazia is a story about the price of what happens when a culture is replaced with something that isn't better. They had a chance to start over, and admittedly the culture failed because they didn't know where to go. Zani and Nissa, yeah, pretty much. Zani and Nissa are former lovers. Zani in her early bounty hunting career basically did. It's very strongly implied that she banged the Countess. They were even in a committed relationship until something happened that involved Oga, who was officially one of Zani's earliest teachers and quote comrades in the quote in VTubing terms in the bounty hunter community. Oga is a sadistic cannibal who wasn't quite as sadistic back then as she is now. She became sadistic after Zani, shot her with an acid bullet that fucked up part of her teeth, and she got it replaced with a gigantic serrated section of basically plate mail layered on each other like a great white shark teeth and a metal jaw. Pure terror.
Damn.
Is the whole thing. Zani is one of those people. If for example, I hate to use them as an example. If they were fighting Krolin would. Let me put it like this: Zani would not be fighting to kill him. It would be fighting to beat his ass. Zani knows when someone's stronger. So they're like, I may lose, but you're gonna live with a limp for the rest of your life. Colin, want a bit? Sorry, imagining that your power skill.
You're right.
But this is probably the darkest thing I have ever written. And I wrote a story about a planet being choked to death by a grieving princess who didn't even realize she was grieving. Like that, the very father she murdered. What do you think about what we've read, the little bit we've read tonight?
I think I really like it, although I'm going to keep harping on this. I wish you would go deeper. I wish you would take some of these lines and make them longer, go more in-depth, add more detail. Your world is incredibly interesting, but we don't get to see very much of it through the characters.
Very fair.
Like, people say that I have a little bit too much detail sometimes. I feel like you don't have quite enough. I wish you would just put a little more in, go a little bit deeper.
One of the things I've thought about doing as a new prologue is having Zani just sitting there whining in a bar about the rain. Just, like, first world problem type shit. Just like, I'm like, I don't want it to rain. No. Fuck. And then everything just goes to shit.
And then everything's suddenly on fire.
Yeah. One of the things I was experimenting with, because when I do intend to take you through Ryan's story, or at least the opening parts of it, I do have a lot of detail within that, and I describe the world a lot more. I was trying to experiment as a challenge from my grandfather of how to write a story without having to go too in depth with detail. I was trying to train my description to let the reader fill in some stuff naturally.
I don't think that's a bad way to do it, honestly.
But I do agree with you. There are parts I probably should, and I have been seeing that I do need to go in and add a little bit more detail. I've actually been looking back at the stories in particular and been like, okay, one can add stuff here, 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 and here.
Yep.
So what do you like most about my world as a whole, out of curiosity?
I like the different... What is the goddamn word? Factions. I love how you have all these different factions. I love how they interact with each other.
The thing is, if you want to understand them more, it's literally one very, very, very obscenely rich lady with a massive hate boner for one guy deciding, fuck you, I'm gonna... I see the Spider-Man meme when crows get together.
You're right.
I like that. Oh, okay, that's great. Oh my goodness. But one thing that I'm very proud of that. Zerg and Hal both helped me understand the construction of how important that interplay is. For example, both Blackwing and the Goldie both call the Empire the Imps. Like in Star Wars, they call them the Imps.
You right.
But Blackwing soldiers usually just get called, well, ironically, crows.
Tee.
So Marius, I love your name by the way, best name, thank you. Do you write fictional pieces and read them on stream? What I do for writer, this is what I call writer support. It is a weekly thing I try to do every Thursday. It is, usually I'm reading, like, for example, Elden's story, I read my own story, I read, other people's stuff, I've read multiple people in my Discord servers stuff. I like reading fictional stuff, analyzing them with people, and when I bring my stuff in, I like to put myself in the hot seat so I can grow by helping others grow. I like to use this as a form of, it's a form of my way of trying to teach that writing is a very accessible thing. It just takes a little bit more time than most do. But yes, I do write fictional pieces, read them on stream, but I also read the fictional works of others.
I was gonna say, a lot of what we do is my stuff, just because I was one of the people that was on here first. We've been through basically my entire first novel, which is currently in the beta reading stage. If you guys want, I can share the link to that in the chat,
amazing.
if Marius is cool with it.
I'm always cool with it.
That's fair. Let me go find the link.
Elden,
but yeah, we try to do this every week.
Yes. Somehow,
some way. We try to do this every week where we go through and read each other's stuff and give each other helpful tips, kind of beta read a little bit, do a little bit of editing, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. For example, me and Elden got into a playful argument about the way Elden would use his emphasis.
Yes.
And my thing with Elden is, I'm like, hey brother, sharpen your writing all you like. I think one of the things that could help, one of Elden's biggest things that he should work on is not sharpening it to the point there's barely anything there, but sharpening it just so the words become a little bit more concise. That's all And
I will admit, I am a wordy bastard. One of my favorite writers is J.R.R. Tolkien. I have read most of his works.
I find it ironic that one of my favorite writers is C.S. Lewis, by the way, but I'm also a Tolkien fan.
Yeah, they were buddies.
Mm-hmm. Just like us.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that link goes to the beta copy of Fate's Crystal Majesty, which is my book, which I'm currently... It's in the beta stage, it's in the editing stage, and then I plan to self-publish a little bit later on after Marius and I have finished editing it.
Yes.
Everyone is free to read it, everyone is free to comment on it. I love hearing people's thoughts.
Yes.
There is a sex scene that I'm thinking of deleting.
You're not deleting it. You're gonna rewrite it and keep the original. No.
I think I should delete it.
Elden?
It's very silly. It's a first draft sex scene.
Elden, if I kept Sasuke versus The Undertaker on the fucking internet, you're gonna keep your sex scene. By the way, that was the first thing I ever wrote when I was like a little kid and just starting high school. Thank you, Doppelganger. Should I call you Sen or should I call you Doppelganger? Which would you prefer, by the way? But yeah, like, Elden, like, my point is, like, and I agree with Hal on this. Keeping the original version of something honestly makes you a better writer when you go back to rewrite it. Keep in mind, I'm gonna be in the hot seat about literally to the day. 2 months from now, I have to display a sex scene on my stream and read it.
I think it will
The
be very
eye
fun
rolls.
for you to write a sex scene.
So, case in point, I set a goal with my chat and community to write that if I got, I think it was a certain level of subscribers and 120 followers a while back, I would write a sex scene and read it during my re-debut week, which will be coming up the 26th to the 30th. More, it's not so much because I'm being cocky, it's more because I have a vacation and I want to stream as much as I want.
You're right. And it's when?
The 26th, the 27th, the 30th, and there should be something for the 28th and 29th. I haven't figured out what one. I do want to keep one of those days open as a rest day, though.
Hell yeah.
But yeah. You will see other people pop in with me regularly. I usually kind of have my ex-boyfriend and best friend, Hal Urian, my other amazing bestest friend, Elden Wild here. They are probably the two people who appear the most on the channel. Verbally.
Hee
Yeah. I have the idea, by the way, for the sex scene that you want me to write for your world. I just have got to figure out a way to apply it to the song I want to apply it to.
Hey yo.
Because it's
You've got a song fic?
Yeah, I'm gonna make this extra cringe and make a song fic out of it. It's gonna be great.
Oh, beautiful. Who are the characters you're doing this between again?
I believe you challenged me to do one for Ryan and Crow, for one with Ryan involved. You're Ryan?
That's fair. I just had a realization that it would be very funny if you were the first one to write a sex scene between Kier and Lily. Because I've never finished a sex scene for them.
I mean, I could take a crack at it.
Whatever you want to do.
You want.
Whichever one is easiest for you to write, gay sex or straight sex.
You may call me Yvette or Sens, whichever is easier. Very well. Sens, it's nice to meet you. And Content Crow's also nice to meet you as well. One thing that What?
Hee.
Oh, by the way, Elden, we should... Shit! I attacked myself with my nightstand.
Oh, don't do that.
I don't need my medicine falling. Elden, one thing I will say is, through your work, I'm growing as a writer. I've noticed when I've written new things in the third book for Zani stuff, I am getting a little bit more detail-oriented again.
Hey, yo.
Mm-hmm. And... Oh, sorry. It's just... I'm trying also to figure out how do I finish this? My brain's like, I don't know. It's like, I've got 5 of these, and this... Actually, no. I actually did the count, Elden. I actually have close to about 12 individual manuscripts.
Damn. I could barely do one.
I have completed 5.
Damn. Again, I could barely do one.
Elden, shut the fuck up. You're gonna complete Lily and Kieran Crow's story all the way to the end. I would drag you through it. to the very end.
Uh-oh.
I will carry you like I'm fucking Samwise Gamgee. Don't even try me. Yeah, you little fucking Frodo, adorable little twink motherfucker. I'll carry your ass all the way.
Fucker, you right.
All the way to the end. Doesn't matter that look. This Fugi's gave me wide hips. There's plenty of room.
You're right.
Thank you, Rennie.
Right. That is something I love about Rennie as an artist. She loves giving people hips.
Look, the funny thing about me getting hips plays back. I told this when Rennie, I actually told this to Rennie when they popped in the day I first used this Fugi. There was an old joke when Murray was just a tabletop character I played every so often, as a bratty NPC. That Murray was thick and had some junk in the trunk. He had an ass, and the joke was hashtag Murray booty. Therefore, without realizing it, Rennie's artistic style has brought this circle back together. It has become an Ouroboros, if you will, of booty, an Assaboros. I will see myself out with that one. I'm sorry.
Hee hee.
But let's call it here. I think so you can get some rest and recover. Okay.
I'm fine. I say as I'm about to cough my lungs out.
Elden.
Just a little bit of anime blood splatter across my screen. Don't worry about it.
Going full Toshinori, are we?
You right, you right.
Let me see who we're gonna raid out to tonight. If y'all could just stay for the raid, I would be appreciative. It would mean the world to me. I'm trying to decide who to read out to. Does anyone have any suggestions?
My funny answer would be Iron Mouse.
You really want to put that on me? Fuck it, we'll do it.
If it lets you. I don't know if her settings allow for raids right now, because sometimes she does sponsored streams, and you can't do raids during those.
Well, let's not take a risk. I don't want to be rude.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
You're doing better than me. I barely ever raid out. I just always forget.
Anne Rice is goated. I've been meaning to look into Thomas Harris, and Stephen King is amazing. I'm actually a big fan of Dark Tower. Though the movie was shit, the Matthew McConaughey's depiction influenced my creation of Man. The whole thing where he's like, go to hell. Been there. Now burn. I'm like, damn, that went hard. Why? But honestly, I am...
Okay, Crow. Crow, I'm holding your hand. I'm gently caressing your cheek. I'm punching you in the fucking throat. Shut the fuck up.
Oh my goodness.
for context for everyone else, Ryan Shepard is my writer name. That's my pen name.
Yeah. We're going to raid out to... I think I found somebody. It took me a minute though.
Ooh.
We're gonna raid Kai Gerhardt. I was currently just about to do a Subnautica stream. Subnautica 2, though. One thing I will tell you guys also is I am a big supporter of human art in every sense of the word. So it's never be afraid to approach me to have your stuff read on Thursdays if you're a writer. And if you want me to read anything crazy or out there, I'll be happy to, because I love reviewing it. But there is one I will probably need vodka to read, and that's My Immortal. But
it'd be like that though.
But yes, everyone, good night, sleep tight, and I'll see you guys next week. Actually, no.
Good night, chat.
We will see you guys Saturday as I put my suit back on for 007 First Light on Saturday.
Hey, yo!
Now, one moment. I'm gonna raid now.